Right, so continuing on with the PS3 collection. So, like I said, this is probably the biggest collection that I currently have. Actually, I think, yeah, I think it is probably the biggest collection, with the exception of PC, but that's not really fair considering Steam gives you games during a lot of these sales. But as far as physical releases, the PS3 is probably the most popular in my household as far as retail releases is concerned. So, anyways, first one is James Bond in GoldenEye Reloaded. I mentioned this a little earlier. I also have this on the Wii, simply called GoldenEye, and it's a direct port of that one, with the exception of they re-upped the graphics and made it 1080p and all this stuff, but for the most part it basically the same game. And I thought it was really cool. I really enjoyed this one. I originally had the Wii one first, played that. I really liked that. And when I saw this one for, I think it was $10 at a EB Games, it was used $10. I thought I would actually pick that up. And yeah, so I really like that one. All right, next up, we also have another James Bond game, and that is Bloodstone. So Bloodstone 007, or whatever you want to call it. This is with Daniel Craig, and I really like this one. It was made by the guys who made rather, PGR series, so the Project Gotham Racing series. They're Bizarre Creations. That's the name of the company. Unfortunately, after this game, they actually shut the door on that one, on that company. But I really enjoyed this game, and I guess apparently it didn't sell a lot great, which is too bad because I really enjoyed it. I would like to see them continue on with more James Bond games. Next up, we have Aliens Colonial Marines. Even though it's not sealed, I actually never played this game yet. I mainly bought this for the Alien set, which I'll get just a second. All right, so this is the Alien set. So this is the main reason why I bought it. I actually saw it at a store chain here in Canada called Giant Tiger, and they sell all sorts of little things. And they had a bunch of used games in the PS3 section that they have there. And this, I seen this thing. I think it was for $15, and just this little statue alone was worth that for me. So it's obviously a loader like Ripley would have used in Aliens, and of course you have the xenomorph there on the back. Really cool set. Regardless of how the game actually is, I have actually played it, but I really liked this little keepsake here, and that's the main reason why I bought it. All right, continuing on, we have three Batman games here. We have Batman Arkham Asylum. We also have Batman Arkham City. And we have, as I'm sure you can already guess, Batman. Batman Arkham Origins. And of all these, the one I like the most is Asylum. I thought that keeping it narrow and in quarters, and in narrow in scope, I should say, I thought it really lent itself more to improving the game. I thought once they kind of expanded it out in City, and continuing on that with Origins and even Arkham Knight, I thought it lost a little bit of that something that the original had. With that being said, they're all really good games, and I would recommend playing all these at some point. Next up, we have Bad Company, Battlefield Bad Company to be more specific. I originally had this game on the 360, and ended up selling a bunch of games. I had close to, I want to say, over 100 games. Maybe even closer to like 150. And unfortunately, during a move, I actually had to sell a lot of my stuff. But regardless, this is one of the games I actually really enjoyed. It's probably one of the few Battlefield games that actually have a decent story in this one. The story reminded me a little bit of the movie Three Kings with Mark Wahlberg, George Clooney, and the Ice Cube. And that movie had its serious moments, but it was also fairly funny. And this game also has its serious moments, but also pretty funny. So I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, so I had it on the 360, and I thought, why not pick it up again and play through it again, which I will do at some point. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a let's play at some point on these two games. And speaking of the second game, we have Battlefield Bad Company 2. I also had this on the PC first, and I played that for many hours on the PC. It was one of my favorite games for a long time. And I also ended up picking up this game on the PS3 when I ended up getting a PS3, and I played it a bunch more hours. Uh, yeah, but I really enjoyed it. One thing that was cool about this one is that they really amped the destructibility of the buildings and whatnot. And what's funny about that is that yes, I know it was kind of somewhat scripted in how the buildings collapse. Like they all pretty much collapse the same way. Uh, I thought even still, I thought the scope I thought was much bigger than what you would see in even Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. Now it looks like that scope will kind of be brought back here with Battlefield 1. I'm kind of curious to see how that will turn out. But yeah, overall, I really like this game. The story wise, it's not as good as the first game, the first Bad Company, but I thought it was an interesting story nevertheless. Probably my favorite of the Battlefields, without question, as far as like story is concerned. And I would really love to see what they would do with the third one, which apparently, who knows, we may never get that. Battlefield 3, I think I ended up picking this up mainly because Tyson was playing it on the PS3. I had it on the PC at the beginning, and we played. I decided to finally pick it up on the PS3 to kind of play with Tyson and whatnot. But yeah, I really enjoyed this game for the multiplayer aspect. The campaign's not that great. I think it has some co-op modes, but personally, I never played them. Next up, we have Call of Duty games. So we have quite a few of them here. We have 6 Call of Duty games, and we'll start off here with Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Arguably one of the best Call of Duty games ever made, and quite frankly, probably one of the best shooters ever made, with the exception of probably, well, there's a lot of good shooters. I won't get into that argument, but yeah, one of my favorites. The online was really kind of what sparked the popularity of Call of Duty. Uh, Before this, it was for me, it was Call of Duty 1 and 2 on the PC, and that was really cool. But Call of Duty 4 really upped it many notches with its both its campaign as well as its online play. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and I guess I can bring up Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. And as you guys know, I also did this as a complete walkthrough or playthrough from Call of Duty Modern Warfare all the way up until Modern Warfare 3. So if you want to check that out, that'd be cool. But anyway, yeah, so of these two, I like Modern Warfare 2 more. Uh, as far as the online is concerned, I'm not a huge fan of Modern Warfare 2. I know that might surprise a lot of people, but I thought it was over. Just a lot was going on with that game that they try to do. I think honestly, they try to do a little too much, and that kind of put me off a little bit. Specifically with the perks and the kill streaks, especially an overabundance of kill streaks, which unfortunately hurt that. As far as Call of Duty 3, the online was decent. Like at that point, you kind of knew what you were getting in with Call of Duty. I thought it was all right, and I liked the campaign as well. As much as even though I don't like it as much as a 1 and 2, I thought it was a decent closure to that story. But yeah, then of course we have the two Black Ops games here. We have Call of Duty Black Ops, probably one of my favorite Call of Duty games. It would honestly be up there with. I would say I probably would put Call of Duty. I don't know, man. It would be between Call of Duty 2, Black Ops, and Modern Warfare 4, with the expansion pack for Call of Duty, the original Call of Duty on PC called United Offensive, up there as well. Probably would. I think I would go with the general consensus and say probably Call of Duty 4 would be the best one. But Black Ops is definitely up there, probably at number two. But yeah, Black Ops. I really enjoyed this game. I really thought the story in this was really impressive, especially for a Call of Duty game. There was a lot of layers to the story. I thought it wasn't your typical Call of Duty. And the online, I liked how, because the game itself kind of went through different environments and specifically time periods, that kind of lent itself fairly well into the multiplayer, and I really liked that. I liked how you had napalm for a kill streak and the dogs and all that. I thought that was all really cool. And of course with Black Ops 2. Now, granted, I'm not as big of a fan of Black Ops 2 as I was with the first game. I thought the multiplayer was decent, uh, and I liked the single player, with the exception of some of the um, RTS type uh, RTS levels, mechanics, or whatever you want to call them. In the game, but to be fair, I'm glad that they at least attempted to try something different with Call of Duty. That's one thing I will say about Treyarch, is that they do try to do things differently with Call of Duty, and sometimes it works out, was the case with Black Ops One, and sometimes maybe it doesn't work as well as they hoped, such as with Black Ops Two. But overall, I mean, it's still a decent game. Like, I have no issues with either of the Black Ops games. A lot of people have issues with this one, however. This is Call of Duty Ghosts. This was the first Infinity Ward game after they developed Modern Warfare 3. So after they finished off that trilogy, they were going to start a whole new trilogy. And of course, being that this is actually August 1st, 2016, they actually did not. I don't believe they're going to continue in that mindset of a trilogy. With obviously they're doing Infinite Warfare, I should say, and I don't think it has anything to do with Ghosts, but we shall see once it comes out. But it was all right. Like the single player, I thought was decent enough. It's your typical Call of Duty fare, lots of set piece moments and whatnot. The story didn't make a ton of sense. The online was decent, but again, nothing breathtaking. It was just it was there. It was a Call of Duty game. Nothing overly nothing overly special. Next up, we have DJ Hero 2. I like to get the first one as well, but this one came with the turntable. And funny enough, I actually ended up getting the turntable. I think was for, what was it, $20? I think $10, $20, and so I got the turntable with the game, and I thought that was a good deal. I'm surprised this thing didn't really take off. Now I guess this was kind of at the end of like the whole music video game genre, at the tail end of it, and it kind of got left behind. And but I thought it was a neat concept, and it's too bad that that's all they made was two of them. So next up, we have three God of War games here. Two of them being collections. We have God of War, the Origins collection, which has Chains of Olympus and Ghosts of Sparta. So these are the original PSP titles that they remastered for the PlayStation 2, and then again remastered for the PlayStation 3 as part of this collection. So you have that one. Then you have the just simply called the God of War collection. So this has God of War 1 and 2. Completed both of these, I do believe, and I really enjoyed both of them. And then finally we have God of War 3. Now, I haven't actually completed this game. I got about 3/4 of the way through, and then I think life got in the way, and I just never was able to complete it. But I remember being overly impressed by the graphics in this one, especially the I can't remember. I can't remember, but anyways, one of the water dude, whatever his name is. I thought that was cool.